continues to tumble. Altcoins bleed as everybody starts to dump Bitcoin. What does this mean for the price action? Where are we heading here in the crypto markets? I'm going to cover this off and a lot more. You can see Bitcoin losing trend here, tumbling to the downside. We called this over 7 days ago, where I showed you that we were forming bearish divergence in the chart. RSI was moving to the downside. The price action was an upward trend. And I warned 7 days ago that this could be nasty. We could be set for a major pullback. No doubt you can see Bitcoin here now from the peaks of where we were at has pulled back 21% already in what is its first correction since October of 2023. We know why this is happening, right? We know there's a bunch of GBTC grayscale Bitcoin leaving the market. Now, some research has suggested that about $1 billion of the selling has just been from the FTX holdings alone. So the investors have sold more than $2 billion worth of grayscale. A large chunk of that exodus was FTX's bankruptcy estate dumping 22 million shares, according to private data CoinDesk reviewed. Okay, so that kind of gives us a bit of a positive, right? It's less so that it's individuals selling all of this, creating the dump. More so as FTX is a big sell, which is causing some of this. This dumping on the one side is not balancing with the inflows of the new ETFs currently. It takes a long time, like I explained in yesterday's video, for new money to come into the system. So currently, you guys know, I'm waiting for some nice opportunities. I still think this pullback can go some more. Yep, I'm going to share an exclusive list of which altcoins I'm looking to buy the dip on. Which gems am I looking to add in this dip opportunity we are getting? And it is a big opportunity. If you want to see that list, ijazcrypto.com/TG is a free Telegram channel. Make sure you're in there. We'll be sharing that list there. Now, you can see Bitcoin breaking from this trend. When it broke 7 days ago, what did I say? I said, look for this support line here. Look for 38,000. And you can see this 38,000 level now starting to come into play. I still think that's the first major point of call here for Bitcoin to try hold some resemblance of support. Now, why is this no surprise? Well, look at this breakout. Look how big and quickly we moved here. So equally, there's very little support to the downside, right? It's like easy up, easy down. That's why I always say, and if you guys have worked through my TA course, ijazcrypto.com/TA, that when price action goes up, I like to see some scaffold being built. Build some scaffolding for a while, then go up, build some scaffolding, and then go up. Because then you have more sustainable moves, not leverage field moves. These moves here are leverage field. And that is why if you go and head on over to CoinGlass, you can see all the liquidations, right? We are seeing $355 million liquidated, of which 320 million of those in just 24 hours. Think about it, guys. $320 million of longs wrecked in just 24 hours. This market was way too leveraged to the upside, and this flush out wasn't just needed, but it's actually healthy here for Bitcoin. So I'm having no qualms about this pullback here. From a long-term fundamental perspective, it doesn't shake me whatsoever. I know some people are panicking like, oh, everybody told us that the Bitcoin ETF was going to be our savior, and now crypto is dumping. It's such a scam, blah, blah, blah. Let those guys say that. You're not shaking me out of my coins. You're not shaking me out of my conviction. I'm loving the opportunity to buy post-Bitcoin spot ETF era Bitcoin at 38,000 and dropping it, right? So this is what I'm looking to. If we can see those levels, if we can fall even deeper, I'm ready to buy the dip. So if we head on over to the weekly chart here, things start to make a lot of sense, right? Let's bring out the EMA ribbon and look at this. Is it any surprise when I've been calling this for a while, saying, guys, this was such an extended move, we need to cool down into our EMA ribbon. And that is why I always sit here waiting for entries. This is where I'll sit, waiting for my entries. The deeper we fall here, the more I will add, because the bulls will start stepping up at these levels. There will be a lot of support coming in at these levels around 34 and 35. If we bring out the VPVR as well, which is a nice volume profile indicator, you will start to see that. Look at all this support that comes in, 31, 32. So this is very thinly traded here. So do not be surprised to see this, continue to flush down here. There's a lot of resistance around this level. We spoke about this as well, right? 45 and 48 and 49 up here where we ultimately got rejected was never going to be an easy level to break, right? And now we're starting to see that we need to go back down, regroup for a while, and then mount a stronger attack, right? Think of it like a marathon, take a rest, and then go mount a stronger attack to finally break through the levels at the peak, right? Because if I just show you, let's take off some of these indicators. This is what rejected us. It was this bit here. This is the bit that we struggled with, right? We couldn't get past it. If you remember, this was the previous bit of support, which we took a while to break. 1 attempt, 2 attempts, right? Finally, on the 3rd attempt, we broke through this cluster resistance. And now the next level is proving just as hard. This level is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy to break. And again, we need a bit of a call off, pick up a new narrative, head closer towards a halving, and then we can kind of storm past it. And in the long term, these are going to prove themselves, in my opinion, as great opportunities to buy the dip in the long-term trend of the EMA ribbon. So that's actively what I'm looking to do. Now, if you want to take a look at the dollar index as well, the dollar index, remember, is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. We want to see this move to the downside. And what are you seeing happen right now on the weekly chart? It's having a relief rally, right? And the reason I call it a relief rally at the moment is because it's moving towards its EMA ribbon. If you come back to here, which was July of 2023, it broke through the EMA ribbon and continued going. And therefore, it was very difficult for crypto in this period. Then, when it got rejected, this was a good period for crypto. Now, whilst it's relief rallying, this is a bad period for crypto. But if we can send this to the downside, if we can reject it heavily, we could have a good couple of months here on crypto once we send this to the downside. What we don't want to see, and this is an important warning, what we don't want to see is this start to get above its EMA ribbon and it start to gather some momentum here to the upside. And I don't suspect that's going to be the case. Macroeconomics suggests that we should start seeing some rate cuts. We should start seeing some loosening of monetary policy. And that should bring risk back on in terms of stocks and the traditional markets. And we're seeing that, right? We know that the Dow has now topped 38,000 for the first time ever. S&P is at all-time highs. The traditional markets are looking good. And if it wasn't for the Bitcoin selling from Grayscale, if it wasn't for what I'm going to share with you now in terms of MtGox as well, this market, I genuinely believe, would be nice and strong and green right now. So we have to accept that these are crypto-specific issues right now, which we have to navigate. And ultimately, they don't define crypto, right? The fact that Grayscale are looking to sell isn't in itself an indictment on Bitcoin. It's just people want to outflow from Grayscale, and eventually they'll take some profit. But I think a lot of that money will find itself back in Bitcoin spot ETFs with lower fees than the Grayscale fee of 1.5% per annum. So it's just a natural process that's happening. The other thing that's worth looking at is this, which is interesting that this come out at the same time as Grayscale is selling. MtGox, which we know is, one of the hacked exchanges from back in the day, is inching towards Bitcoin repayments. And we always see these kind of updates every so often, right? Periodically you hear a news article, oh, MtGox is ready to repay, and everybody starts panicking again and getting scared. Now, the timing of this is a bit suspect, right? Just when we're seeing a bunch of dumping, Bitcoin losing 40,000, heading to the downside, Grayscale selling, everyone's saying that ETF is not working, nobody cares about Bitcoin, they're not flowing into the ETF, you get this as well. So just want to read this out to you. Numerous MtGox creditors reported receiving new emails from MtGox about the completion of identity verification for crypto exchange accounts that are set to be used to repay Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. One such email posted on MtGox's Insolvency Hub on Reddit says that a crypto exchange mentioning the user's rehabilitation claim has confirmed the account ownership with the trustee. So what they're saying is they've confirmed the addresses for repayment. In other words, they're getting closer to releasing all this Bitcoin. Now, I've covered this at length, so I think this whole MtGox thing is a big bunch of nothing. If they want to dump and if the market wants to panic, go for it. I literally think that this market is so strong that we can absorb these things. Bitcoin is not a new asset class. This is a really big, really strong asset class with 11 Bitcoin spot ETFs now. We're not at this point where we need to worry about this kind of stuff majorly. If the price wants to correct, let it correct. It's going to come back to trend and produce great opportunities for me personally to buy the dip. I'm going to take those opportunities. Do I need to be worried? No. And again, I've broken down the kind of technicalities of the MtGox repayments as well. Not everybody is going to redeem. Not everybody's going to take profit and sell their Bitcoin. They're not going to do it all on one day, that Bitcoin needs to absorb it all on one day. The repayments are going to be spread out over time anyway. They're spread out. Some of them are going to get cash. Some of them are going to get Bitcoin. Some of them are going to get Bitcoin Cash. So that effect is going to be dissolved as well. And even then, if all of it was dumped in one go, yes, we would get an almighty dump. but it's just going to recover back again as people buy the dip. So all a bunch of nothing really here for us not to be shaking out the market. Ultimately, if the suits are listening, you're not going to shake me out. I'm not leaving. We've worked too hard through this bear market to be selling Bitcoin now. I'm going to be buying the dip. I'll be buying more. If you want to see which altcoins I'll be buying the dip on, make sure you're in our Telegram community, ijazcrypto.com/TG. I'll be sharing a list of altcoin gems in there very, very shortly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.